Hi, everybody, and welcome to Spa Babies. Dan Illman along with Nicole Russo, and we'll kick off the week at Saratoga with our Wednesday Spa Baby event, also the opening leg of the 50-cent Pick 5 and the opening race on the Saratoga card. Let's take a look at this field. We're going a mile and a 16th on the inner turf. This race is for 2-year-old fillies. They are New York breds, and we are hoping the weather holds out because this looks like a very competitive race on the grass.
It looks very competitive if it stays right where it is on the lawn, as you said, Dan. Going a mile and a 16th on the inner turf. I think these races are really interesting with the 2-year-olds as a pedigree puzzle because not only are you looking for the youngsters that are going to want to go a route of ground, you're looking for the ones who are going to handle the turf. And if a horse checks all of those boxes, that's where I lean.
We'll start things off with a coupled entry trained by David Duggan, the number 1 Denver's Alley, the number 1A Speights Dance, breaking from post positions 4 and 5 respectively. Denver's Alley sold for $80,000 in April, breezing a quarter mile in 21 seconds flat. She is by Algorithms. The second dam, EP Tombe, was fantastic.
Absolutely. A great Group 1 winning turf horse in South Africa, in Dubai. It's a terrific family. Algorithms is a bit of a dirt type sire, but then you look at that female family, and certainly this is one who would want to run on the turf.
Her stablemate is right next door, again from post position 5. That's the 1A Speights Dance. This is a daughter of Speightster and a half-sister to a multiple stakes winning turf router named Street Gem. This one sold up for $50,000 as an April 2-year-old. There's some distance in this family. The Speightsters still trying to figure themselves out on the turf, only 5% first on the lawn.
Yeah, and that's very interesting to me because I honestly thought with the female family Speightster comes from, it's a Canadian family, and the versatility of his sire Speightstown, I thought he might do better with his turf runners than he has to date in limited crops. Kendrick Carmouche is aboard this one, a good aggressive rider who should work out a good trip for this filly. And David Duggan, just a terrific group of 2-year-olds, I think, in his barn at Saratoga this summer.
Breaking from the rails, one of our experienced performers, that's the number 2, Bernietakescharge, a daughter of Take Charge Indy. The dam was a juvenile stakes winner going a mile on dirt, and she took advantage of a pretty hot pace in her debut. She fell behind early, but she rallied very nicely just to get up for 3rd in the shadow of the wire. She probably benefits from that race. Katie Davis riding very well right now.
Yeah, Katie Davis having a terrific Saratoga meet. And I like that this one not only has a race under her belt, but has a 2-turn turf race under her belt and ran well, as you mentioned. I think she should have some pace to run into here if she can work out a trip and has good foundation from that experience, I believe.
Up next is the number 3, Downtown Channel, breaking from post position 2. She is by turf champion English Channel, a $7,500 weanling bought back for $57,000 last year. The dam won a couple of dirt sprints. While there is dirt close up in this pedigree, on the face of it, she being by English Channel out of a Warfront mare, going long on the turf is probably what she wants to do.
Absolutely. Going long on the turf is what the vast majority of the English channels want to do. And this one has a nice long work tab for Horatio de Paz. And I think that's what you want to see from a first-time starter going a route of ground, especially against some experienced horses, is a nice long work tab like that.
Manny Franco picks up the mount. The number 4 is Bossy Jeans. This is a second-time starter by Lauban, going out for trainer Michael Maker. This one was bought back after her career debut. She made her debut going 7.5 furlongs at Horseshoe, Indianapolis, got a good education that day, went through the auction ring, was bought back for $24,000. She is by Lauban, as I mentioned, and Michael Maker is just very good, especially when horses have a race under their belt.
Absolutely. And you pointed out that she faced Open Company at Indiana. And Indiana is one of those tracks that isn't talked about in the same vein as a Saratoga or a Del Mar, but it's one of those tracks with a sneaky good 2-year-old program. We've seen some nice horses go through there to get experience. And what's 7.5 furlongs there? So stretching out just a little bit.
Certainly worth mentioning that the leading rider, Arad Ortiz, takes the mount on the 4, Bossy Jeans. The number 5 is Run for Your Honey. She'll break from post position 6, and I think she ran better than it looks in her most recent race. It was her first two-turn race on turf, and she just got cooked on a pace duel with a horse that wound up finishing last. She put that horse away, didn't change leads in the stretch, but almost held third over Bernietakescharge. Maybe she'll have an easier time of it up front this time around.
Yeah, and I liked Run for Your Honey a little bit that day. She's run twice on turf from 3 starts now, and I think those were good efforts that were better than they look on paper. Her sprint debut on the turf has already come back as a key race, and I think she faced some good horses last out and, ran very well, as you pointed out. This is another horse coming in with a lot of foundation.
She is by Tapizar. Dylan Davis takes the mount. She's trained by Michael Maker, as is the 4, Bossy Jeans. The number 6 is Once an Eagle. This is a second-time starter trained by Christophe Clement. Flavien Prat takes the mount. A very strong pedigree. She's by Tonalist. She's a half-sister to a stakes winner on the turf named Tapitation. The Dam was a graded stakes winner on the turf. She took a lot of money for her career debut. She had to break from the rail, ended up in behind horses. It was a really good education for Once an Eagle, and I expect her to improve second time out.
Absolutely. And another one coming out of that same race on August 2nd that we've already talked about a couple there. I think she faced some nice horses there. Sire Tonalist, some turf horses in his family, even though he doesn't have amazing turf statistics himself yet, and plenty of turf on the bottom side of this page to back him up.
The number 7 is Bertrille, moving dirt to turf and sprint to route. She is a daughter of first crop sire Vino Rosso. The Dam was a stakes place dirt sprinter, but Vino Rosso adds a lot of stamina to the pedigree. She was hung out wide in her debut, going 5.5 furlongs. I'm expecting her to do better going 2 turns, but I'm not sure about the Vino Rossos on turf just yet.
Absolutely. I think, ultimately Vino Rosso will have some turf runners to his credit. Of course, he's from that very versatile Smart Strike sire line, but ultimately, I do see him more as a potential dirt sire, certainly the dirt on the bottom half of this family. I think the Vino Rossos are definitely going to like the distance, and I think they're taking the opportunity here to go sprint to route, and they're just running on turf because that is where those opportunities exist right now. Not really two-turn opportunities for the 2-year-olds on the dirt just yet at this point of the season.
Lots to like about the number 8, Alittlebitnaughty. She is a daughter of high percentage stallion Oscar Performance, who wins 15% with juvenile debut runners and a whopping 20% first on the turf. Alittlebitnaughty sold for $350,000 as a yearling. She's a 3/4 sister to Real Solution, a multiple grade 1 stakes winner, Ava's Kitten, Costana, all those horses, I believe, by Kitten's Joy, Oscar Performance by Kitten's Joy, and it's another running Danny Gargan 2-year-old, it appears.
Yeah, and you know what, Danny Gargan, we've said several times, came in loaded for bear with what he said was his best crop of 2-year-olds ever at this Saratoga meet. You pointed out all the close relations to this horse, a lot of outstanding turf performers. Young sire Oscar Performance really on fire right now, and this is one just bred to go 2 turns on the turf.
And completing the field is the number 9, Grab the Glory. She's already run 3 times in her career, and now she'll stretch out for the first time. While she is a half-sister to Amundsen, a good stakes-winning sprinter on the dirt, another half-sibling, Winner's Laugh, was stakes-placed going long. She'll have to prove herself going long, but she is by Belmont Stakes winner Palace Malice. I think she is better on turf. She's raced once on dirt this meet at Saratoga. She should show speed from this outside draw under Jose Ortiz.
Yeah, and I thought it very interesting that her pedigree has a lot of dirt ability in it, but she didn't run so well when they tried her on dirt, moving back to what looks like her preferred surface. Doesn't show a work since July 22nd, before her most recent start. I'd look at the Clocker report produced by colleague Mike Welsh and his team for any updated information on this filly.
Well, let's take a look at our top picks for our Wednesday Spa Baby event, kicking off the card, and you're going with the well-bred number 8, Alittlebitnaughty. She really ticks a lot of boxes, Nicole, a very expensive yearling purchase.
Yeah, and I talked a little bit about the pedigree puzzle of this race with both the surface and the distance questions. And here's a horse who has both pieces of that puzzle, just bred to go long on turf, it seems like. 4 solid connections, should work on a nice trip at a bit of value. I do think that Bernie Takes Charge will have some pace to rally into, and part of that pace could be provided by Run for Your Honey, who I still think is sneaky good on turf. So I will use those 2 experienced runners in the mix as well.
You make a good point about the pace. Run for Your Honey should be forwardly placed. One of the keys to the race, the 9 Grab the Glory, a stretch-out sprinter, might also provide some speed, setting things up for the 8 Alittlebitnaughty, the 2 Bernie Takes Charge, maybe even the 3 Downtown Channel. Again, English Channel out of a War Front mare. I think this is what she wants to do. This is a good inside post position. But what a fun race to start off the week at Saratoga. 8-2-5-6 for Nicole, 3-2-5-6 for me. It's Spa Babies at the Spa. Where else? Race number 1 at Saratoga for New York Reds. Good luck.